Has anyone here seen Home Alone?
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
Have you ever wished that that movie was rated R so you could see how serial killers are born? No? Just me?
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Well, okay, let's say hypothetically, if the Home Alone movies were more grounded movies where throwing a brick at someone from an 8-story building would absolutely cave in their skulls and splatter their brains on the ground instead of going the slapstick family humor route. You might get something along the lines of Becky, a 2020 home invasion movie where some Nazis break out of prison and invade the home of Becky, her dad, and new possible stepmom and brother, oh, and 2 dogs. I'm reviewing this movie because Wrath of Becky just recently came out and figured might as well watch and review something relevant these days because it seems like we're in a bit of a dry spell with horror. Currently, the movie is only playing in select theaters, and I mean really select, like only a few in California. Don't know when it will be on some kind of streaming service, but I guess someone thought it was a super smart idea to release it in 6 theaters in 1 state.
You little idiots! Idiots!
I will be doing spoilers for this movie, not just because it came out 3 years ago, but also because, well, how to articulate my thoughts of this film in a very mature and enlightened manner. Let's get spooky. So this movie starts out with a brief interview of Becky and the events that occurred, which we are about to watch. Then we get the classic time jump backwards that I absolutely hate, but I'll try to move past that this time. Nope, I can't. That's better. We get introduced to our main character Becky, who is clearly going through some shit while she's out with her dad. We know that because she is stealing little things from the gas station they are at. Meanwhile, we get a montage of scenes of the main antagonist, Dominic, played by Kevin James.
Okay, and in that same supportive vein, would you go to La Boheme with me?
No, but thank you for asking.
Apex, played by Robert Maulet. If he looks familiar, that's because he's the big-ass French guy in that Sherlock Holmes movie. Oh, and then there's these 2 other guys that don't really matter. Sorry guys, it's not my fault the script really didn't give a shit about you. They are all prison inmates, and if that wasn't enough, they are Nazis. How do I know that, you might ask? Well, Kevin James is bald, so obviously they had to tattoo a swastika on the back of his bald ass head. So Becky and her dad, Jeff, wait. Jeff Winger?
Sometimes I do wish you were dead. Thank you.
I'm not kidding. His name in this movie is actually Jeff. Who knew that this was going to be the end of Community's Jeff? Oops, did I spoil something? I don't really care. So Becky and Jeff are getting ready to go to a cabin, which makes Becky very happy because she needs a little pick-me-up since her mom died not too long ago. How long ago? Yeah, we never get told that. Keep that in mind, it's a common theme in this movie. Becky's mood soon sours when they arrive at the cabin and there are some people waiting for them there. Oh look, it's Jeff's hot new piece of ass. Nah. It's just his girlfriend Kayla and her son. They announce to Becky that they are planning on getting married, which makes Becky storm off in a huff. It would help if we knew how long they were dating to better gauge if Jeff just can't keep it in his pants or Becky is being a self-centered 14-year-old. But guys, it's a movie. Asking for something like that or when Becky's mom died so we can somewhat gauge an appropriate reaction to what is currently happening in their lives is just way too much to ask. So while Becky is ruining everyone's cabin time, the bad guys are busy breaking out of jail mid-transport, get a car, and are hell-bent on getting to the cabin. Don't worry, I'll address why in a bit. So Becky is hanging out by herself in a little shack for some alone time. Good thing she's young, because in a few years, the things that she'll be up to in that little shack will make her dad want to go Braveheart on that thing.
Burn it.
So the bad guys make their way into the cabin innocently, then immediately hold the family hostage while Kevin Smith goes searching in the basement for a key. The key is gone, so he starts interrogating the family and finds out that Becky is missing, so he sends some of the nobodies to go find her. shit starts to hit the fan.
Finally.
Becky gets lucky, and I mean seriously lucky, in killing one of the bad guys and stabs him to death with a ruler. Kevin Smith loses an eye. Becky gets less lucky, but still kind of lucky, killing off another guy with a boat propeller. The big French fucker really shows her who boss, but he hates killing kids, so he lets her go. Becky and Kevin Smith go one-on-one until the French guy comes in with the assist, and Becky runs over Kevin Smith's face with a lawnmower. And the second Becky gets the chance, she shoots the French guy in the face. Kayla, Jeff's fiance, does get shot in the leg, but she ends up not bleeding out. Her son is totally fine, and we end where we started, and Becky's getting interviewed by the police, but plays it all off like she doesn't remember anything. But we, the audience, know better, and the movie ends. This is such surface level shit. It might as well be called Killer, or Death, or Blood, or some other bullshit. Okay, so the main reason why the entire movie happens is because the Nazi guys need to get a key. What's it for? Who the fuck knows? How is it at the cabin? Did they own it before they went to prison? Who the fuck knows? What's the main drive of the individual bad guys other than getting a key to unlock some unknown thing? Who the fuck knows? The violence in this movie is pretty low budget at best. You can really tell with the first kill, so many obvious cutaways, and the fact that she distracts a guy with throwing what he thinks to be the key into the bushes and then zip lines down to stab him in the chest with the ruler not only seems like a Home Alone ripoff, but really bullshit. How deaf do you have to be to not hear someone ziplining behind you in the middle of the woods? I get that there have been plenty of kid genius movies where the kids outsmart the older bad guys, but we never really get a sense of Becky being a wilderness survival expert or that she's super smart. She is stupid lucky with the first guy. The second guy is a bit less lucky because she does start to lose after realizing that a board with nails to the head from a 14-year-old girl might not be enough to one-hit kill a guy, but then luck comes back when she pushes him into the water and he can't swim, and then she just runs over him with a boat propeller. I don't understand how it's fucking possible that middle-aged people in the US don't know how to swim. When the big French guy comes in, he just tosses her around like a rag doll, but then stops because of the bad script. I mean, he's the only guy that's part of this Nazi group that doesn't like hurting kids. Her first run-in with Kevin Smith when she gouges out his eye, instead of, running after her after she does that, he just runs away to regroup and deal with the eye.
What? Oh, come on!
Why the fuck aren't you chasing after her? You know she has the one thing you need. You really think it's a good idea to let her out of your sight when you're in a cabin surrounded by the woods? And in the finale with Becky against Kevin Smith, the big French guy comes back and helps out Becky. Without him, she would have died. In the second Kevin Smith is dead and the French guy is talking about turning his life around, she immediately shoots him in the face. What an ungrateful bitch, am I right? I mean, yeah, he killed 2 kids prior, and yeah, he was a Nazi, and yeah, he helped out the guys that killed one of her dogs and her dad, but I mean, come on.
What? What the fuck?
Okay. So now with all of that out of the way, are you really that excited for a sequel? Maybe I'm just missing the mark on this one, because I saw Terrifier, and I thought that movie sucked ass.
What?
But apparently people were dying. Straight up dying en masse for a sequel. So much so that the sequel came to theaters and it was the biggest thing in horror news since the first It movie broke rated R movie profit records. I still haven't seen Terrifier 2, by the way.
What the fuck?
Sorry. I'm sure I'll get to see it eventually, but I'm not a huge fan of lazy horror. And that's exactly what I thought of Terrifier 1 and Becky. Rotten Tomatoes has Becky at 72 for the critics and audience is 56. I'm definitely going with the audience on this one. I'll still watch Wrath of Becky and hope it gets better than the first one, but I'm not getting my hopes up. And I'm only doing it because the topic would be trending these days. Fuck YouTube be tough sometimes. But anyways, hope you had fun and have been keeping it spooky.